Hi, Huffington Post. We're here with Broadway's Nick Adams for Coming Out Stories. So Nick, you are from the little town of Erie, Pennsylvania, which is up in like the corner, like, kind of like the country. So what was that like? Yeah, right? It's kind of like in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Small town.
It's cute.
It's a great place to grow up. It's in to visit, but I could never...
You don't want to live
there
anymore.
now. No.
I relate. I grew up in like this little farm in Maryland. It's cute to go home and visit, but...
Then you're cooked.
Yeah. 3 days tops.
Yeah.
3 days tops. So what was it like growing up in that community?
Well, it's small town mentality.
Mm-hmm.
It's surprisingly has a really large arts community, and so I think that's why I found my way there, because I was really shy as a kid and made fun of a lot, and so that I found my way to theater, and then that was like where I could be myself and have find a circle of friends that didn't care if I don't know, felt effeminate or nervous to be around people.
So you had like a group of people where you were from that you could kind of just like let loose and be yourself.
Yeah.
So what was so like you always knew you wanted to be a performer? Mm-hmm. Is that the thing? So like what was it like in school? Because you're like a beautiful dancer. So like what was that like in school? Like where like because I know for me, I thought I was like the Little Mermaid and Pocahontas when I was in school, so that really didn't go over well with the kids. So what was like I had like my Pocahontas Barbie doll that I would like brush its hair, and I like pretended that I had that hair, like really, really gay. So what was like when you're in school and you wanted to be a performer? Were you doing sports as well, or were you just like fuck it, I'm gonna like sing and tap dance?
Yeah, I mean, I got into theater at like 9 years old. Doing like community theater in my town, but I kept it very separate from school and that because I don't know, I wanted to hide it because I was sort of embarrassed. Because anybody that did theater at my school was like, they were always made fun of, so I would just go and do it downtown and not really tell anybody about it.
You go downtown to do all the secret stuff.
And then I didn't take like dance classes or anything growing up because I was too afraid. And, I didn't until when I was in high school. I went to a private Catholic school that had an arts program that you could declare a major in the arts, which is very bizarre, but it was an option. So I begged my parents to send me there, and I think my junior year, I was like, fuck it. Can I say that? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I just was like, fuck this. Like, I'm gonna do this for my life. I shouldn't care what these people think of me. So then I did the dance company at school. I was like the only guy to do it, and it was great because then in school I had dance every day for an hour and a half.
Oh wow!
And then I started to take at the Lake Erie Ballet. I did that every day after school, and I was just like, I'm gonna make this my life.
Like this is gonna be you had your eye on the goal, and you're like, this is it. Yeah. Who cares if people?
I don't care anymore. I can't live in fear anymore. I just have to do what I love to do and be the best at it that I can be. So I just was like, fuck them. I'm gonna start dancing and singing.
Fuck up. You're gonna dance.
I was 16. I had my first summer stock experience. My parents let me move to Cincinnati, Ohio.
By yourself?
4 months. By myself. Took my car, rented an apartment, and did... there was a theater, a summer season in Cincinnati called Hot Summer Nights, which no longer exists, but it was like on campus at the University of Cincinnati. And so all their musical theater majors would, do theater there.
A young kid just off in the...
Yeah, but I had a friend that went to college there and said, listen, they're doing a season this summer that you'd be perfect for, and so you should come audition. So I asked my dad, I was like, please drive me there. So I came and auditioned, and I got the shows. I got 2 shows, and they did them in reps, so we would alternate. Which was, a great learning experience. But to be on my own in a different city at 16 with a bunch of college kids and then
That's
fake ID.
That's a lot to take off. That's a lot. That's like another episode.
I don't know how I lived through it. But, so at that point, I think that was a huge step for me personally to grow that way.
Did you come out around that time? Or like when did that happen?
I did with those people.
With the summer stock people, you're like...
So I was so far away from home, and it was so accepting, and it was like... I felt so alive, and so, I don't know.
You're with people like you.
Like-minded people and creative people, and so, God, it was so much fun. But just to feel really okay with myself for the first time. So then I had to go back and do senior year of high school and completely, put that...
Push it all back.
And like, forget that happened in a way. I'm like, you know, have girlfriends again and like deal with that.
Mm-mm.
And that's why now I'm like, kids are so much more self-aware and courageous than I mean, I didn't have it in me then to be open about that part of my life. And
well,
I don't think I could accept it then yet myself, you know?
I think it's great for guys like us who are like the younger versions of us now. There's like the Glees and the Smashes and all that stuff where it's just like the new normal, like all that stuff. It's just kind of like there on TV, so I think it's like a lot easier
It's more
to
accessible.
come out. I think it's still obviously very hard to come out, but I think it's like a different, it's like progressively becoming easier.
Yeah. Well, it's more like interwoven into society. You see it more on television. You read about it more. I think in a way it's kind of like a double-edged sword though, because when it was sort of unspoken, it was almost like more off limits in a way to like belittle someone for it. Whereas now, I mean, bullying is just such a huge thing now. I mean, there's so much light shed on it now. But I think people in a way feel like it's kids that are gonna attack someone that's insecure or something or different. They kind of feel like it's more acceptable to now attack those people because it is so out in the open.
Well, I think these kids like attack also because they have their own like insecurities and fears, and they just like it's awful.
Well, because people that are confident or different are threatening to those people that are insecure.
Yeah, and
I feel like that's why we probably we obviously march to our own beat.
We're doing our own thing here. We're living the dream.
That's right.
So you moved to New York.
Yes.
Eventually.
Well, I went to Boston I went to college in Boston.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Which was amazing because then I finally was in.
It's a cute little town. I like it.
I went to Boston Conservatory, which is like a little gem of a school, and it was all theater kids. That's all we did all day. It was a conservatory program, so you just woke up at 9, you got class at 9, and finished like at 2 in the morning, and then did it all over again, and it was incredible.
And there you go.
Yeah.
So, and that's like where you kind of like started to really come into like where you were able to just fully be.
Yeah.
Who you are?
That's when I didn't tell my family until college.
Okay.
Funny enough, the summer before school, I went to study with Gus Giordano, which is a dance company in Chicago, and I got a scholarship to go there and spend 4 months there. And I had a tricky experience with someone that was on faculty at the program, and I remember telling my older brother, who I wasn't incredibly close with.
I've met your brother, and he's fantastic.
Yeah.
He's so nice.
Yeah, and so accepting and incredible. But at the time, we weren't that close, and we both become, different people than we were then. But he was out. We were having a phone conversation. He asked me how things were going, and I said, "Well, listen, there's this guy. He's kind of pressuring me to do things that I'm not comfortable with, and I don't know if I should like leave the school or whatever." And he ended up saying, "Well, do you normally date guys?" And without even like thinking, I just said yes. And he was like, "Okay," and that was it. And I was so surprised at that. He did. I mean, I feel like he always knew, and he used to give me shit for it when I was a kid. But then, as he got older, he was like, "All right."
He matured, evolved,
So he's the first person in my family that I told, and he was completely fine. It was like I told him I went to the store or something.
He was like,
"All right,
great,
cool." And then I told my mom after my freshman year of college, and she was like, "I've known since you were 3." So
yeah, that was like my mom's experience also. She was like, "I've always known. We were just waiting for you to kind of catch up with it."
Yeah, and of course, she's incredibly supportive and super liberal, and she's obviously, as the years have gone by, since it's just become part of our family.
Yeah,
she's amazing. But at the time, she had this concerns of like a Midwest mom would have, which is normal.
Yeah. Moms worry. They always worry.
Yeah, they worry. And then I told my dad, like maybe 6 months later, once I had my first boyfriend, I was like,
I guess I better tell Dad.
And my parents are divorced. They have been since I was 5, so it just felt natural to tell my mom first, and wait till I felt like I had a real reason to tell my dad. And he was like crying in a great way, and just was so honored that he's like, "I'm so honored that you want to share this part of your life with me." And that was, I mean, I have incredible parents. And just
if you have any little piece of advice for somebody who's from like a town like Erie, Pennsylvania, who's struggling to come out or accept who they are, they're having trouble in school, what would your advice be for them?
Oh my God, there's like a cat outside.
Yeah, my roommate has a cat. She's fine.
Oh.
It's fine.
I would say, love who you are, and screw them, because I used it as fuel to make my dreams come true. I mean, I really did. I felt like I have to show these people that I'm right and they're wrong, and they should see that I'm worth it, you know? So just know that believing in who you are and being comfortable in your own skin will change your life. And I think as I've gotten older, I felt so much less pressure once I felt okay with me. So just try to do you and feel okay with it, and know that you're not doing anything wrong.
So screw them, do you. I love that. Well, we will post links to Nick's Twitter, and follow him. Check it out. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
All right, peace.
Bye.